Welcome to week 9. I know you're all going to miss me because we only have one more week together after this, so try and hang in there. I think I can keep this to about 5 minutes, but I do want to give you a couple pointers on what I'm looking for as week 9 and for the paper. But first, I'd really like to comment on week 8, and I'd like to thank you all for what I believe is probably the best week of discussions that we've had. It may be a combination of the topic and your interests, maybe getting back into the single flow of things after having the number of group projects, but you really hit it out of the park. I thought the initial discussions were great, the way you referenced both the required readings as well as did additional research. The questions and the follow-ups that you asked to each other was really what we're looking for throughout the course. So I ask that you can try and emulate that as we show up on week 10, where again discussions and then a final feedback and survey will be our major 2 task items that we'll be looking at next week. So thanks again. So now let's talk about week 9, excuse me. Just talk about week 8. Let's talk about week 9. So week 9 is creating value through growth strategy. No discussions are required. You can still discuss. I want to make sure that's clear. That's always available. So if you want to have discussions about the readings, about the Facebook case study, knock yourselves out. I would encourage that. The paper should be, for this week, 6 to 8 pages long. That doesn't include the cover sheet. That doesn't include your references. It doesn't include charts and graphs. I'm talking 6 to 8 pages of writing. The requirement is for 6 to 8 pages, 15 pages of writing does not make it better. So I'm hoping that you can be concise. And again, I guess what I would say is think of it in a role of you're going to deliver this to someone who probably doesn't have more time than 6 to 8 pages if you were giving it to, say, a COO or another C-level executive. So try and keep that focused on the 6 to 8 pages. I'd like to emphasize the references for this week. We're looking at North American references. So it's okay if you have some North American references in there. The required readings, by the way, are largely North American references, and they should also be cited when used appropriately. But I am asking to expand your search somewhat, either within the UMUC online library or elsewhere, and look for those critical articles, those scholarly articles that could be applied to this from non-North American sources. So that's the first thing I'm looking at. Second is page length. I've already said that one. The third is answers, and don't put it in a question and answer format as previously directed in other studies as well. It should be related to the required reading, and I would encourage you to try and tie in the required reading whenever possible. And the fourth is, as always, I'm looking for critical analysis. If you want to hit it out of the park, if you want to get an A for your final paper, that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for in-depth research, keeping it to the 6 to 8 pages, non-North American scholarly sources, critical analysis on your part, and make sure that it was in the context of answering the questions from the Facebook study in the directions and the instructions for this case study. Facebook's a very interesting case study. I hope you enjoy the reading. And I think there are a lot of tidbits you can bring out in there, but also in our other required readings this week. For example, the role of culture, I find particularly intriguing. That's just me, so I don't want to bring my own bias to what you should write on. There are a number of different examples that you could apply this week. As always, I'm available online. You can give me a call, shoot me an email, put it in the Ask the Professor, and I'll get back to you forthwith. I do have 2 administrative remarks. Again, reminder that I've given you through tomorrow, Friday, if you want to add anything further to the week 8 discussions. That's because we had some technical glitches on the UMUC website. So I know a number of us had issues with that. I appreciate several of you who brought it to my attention. I had already contacted the IT help desk, and it wasn't just our course. It was several courses that were impacted. So feel free. No late entries, no dings for that at all. You can still comment up to tomorrow, through tomorrow. And the second is start thinking about your feedback on the course, which will be due during week 10. But we can make this course better, but it really requires your input. We take student input very seriously here. I take it very seriously. the course director does and the dean does as well. So please help us make this course and make the MBA experience successful and a positive learning experience for all. That's all I've got. I said 5 minutes. I think I'm pretty darn close. Have a great week 9, and I'll see you online.